Hey everyone, Dr. Zach again, back by popular demand. So we're gonna do the first set of pH tests. And so we have our well plate set up. So there are just these little divots in a plastic plate. And our first chemical that we're using is the sodium acetate. So what I'm going to do is I will put a few drops of this into the top 4 wells on my plate. Doesn't really matter how much you put in, you just have to have enough to kind of see a reaction happening if it does. So cover it like a good chemist. And so then we have them set up, and then I get to choose my indicators. And so I'm just gonna take a wild stab in the dark for the first one to see if anything happens. So I have my methyl violet indicator first, and it's this nice purplish color, and we'll see if when we put it in the solution whether or not it changes. So I'm putting this into the first well, and it turns a very nice purple color. So I'll try to say the colors just in case you're colorblind or your screen doesn't have good colors, or you're watching on a black and white TV or something. Who knows? Our next indicator is phenolphthalein, which you guys used in the titration lab. So I'll put a couple drops of that in. And it looks like nothing really happened, so it's still colorless. And next up, go with methyl orange, which I like because it's orange. And let's put a drop in and see. And so that also looks orange. Looks kind of like Tang, which is a drink I liked when I was younger. Astronauts drink it. Sorry, methyl red. I always forget to show you the last one, don't I? All right. Although for those at home, this is the first video, so that comment did not make sense. All right. So I'm gonna put a couple drops in, and it looks like it's yellow. Although you can kind of see some orange floaty things in there if you look close enough. All right, so now to the table, to the bat cave. Okay, and I'm gonna put my indicators in the order that we did them along the top so you can kind of see this and follow along in this example. And so remember, methyl violet in the first well, phenolphthalein, methyl orange, and methyl red. And so now we're gonna try to see if we can narrow down the pH of our sodium acetate solution. So that was our original guy. Okay, so first one, methyl violet. So it says it will be yellow or blue. It's actually more of a purple color, but purple is a lot closer to blue than it is to yellow. So we're gonna say that the pH is probably over 2 for our sodium acetate. Okay. In our next well, we have phenolphthalein, which is over here. And you'll notice that if it were really basic, it would be pink. But we have a clear color, so we know that our sodium acetate solution has to be lower in pH than 8. So we've gone ahead and narrowed the pH of the solution from these first 2 indicators. It's been narrowed to between 2 and 8 in the pH range. And so that's kind of why we decided to try methyl orange next, because this has a range of 3.1 to 4.4, so we can really narrow it down from there. And so you'll notice that it's orange, which is between the red and yellow that we would expect from that, the color change. So we know that it's well within this range. So our pH has been narrowed from 2 to 8 from the first 2 indicators that we looked at to 3.1 to 4.4 with the methyl orange. Next, we tried methyl red to narrow it even more. And so even though it's kind of yellow, since there are some orange floaty things, we know that it's got to be between this 4.2 to 6.3 range, because that's in between the red and yellow that we have here. And so now, because it's kind of in between here, we know that from these last 2 solutions we looked at, the pH range is between 4.2 and 4.4. However, usually when we report pHs, we're going to report them as whole numbers. So you could report that as having a pH of 4 for the sodium acetate. So this is the only one that we're really going to walk you through, but now you know how to do it, so you could do it with the rest of them.